So it's really much smaller than Yankee Stadium. Center field not a lot smaller, but the alleys, 399 where it says 370 in left center, 385 at Yankee Stadium where it says 370 here. Well, two-way, and here is Carlos Pena. Again, three infielders on the right side. Nix moves over. Jeter stays at short, and the pitch is a strike.
Wow.
You know, the biggest thing he's doing, he's going strike one all the time. 2 outs, no one on. Bottom of the third, no score. Phelps is ready to go. Pena trying to slow him down. Three infielders on the right side. Cano in the middle, about 10 steps out on the turf. And the pitch was inside, and it hit him. So he's just trying to pitch inside. He's not trying to hit anyone. And I think the Rays know that. So Pena is on. Now, you don't want him to hit anyone, but at the same time, you got to pitch inside. You don't pitch inside, you're going to get killed. You don't pitch inside, and people will lean over the plate. And I think Teixeira just asked Pena, if I could read lips, are you okay? And he said, yeah, I'm okay.
I think he got him underneath part of the elbow.
The pitch to Upton is outside. The count 1-0. Upton struck out his first time. We do not have a hit in the game. Rays have the only base runners, 1 walk and 2 hit batsmen. Now here's the 1-0. Outside, the throw to first is not in time. Almost got him. Almost got him. 10-second station ID on the New York Yankees radio. 3. John Sterling, Susan Waldman at Tropicana. Bottom of the third, no score. 2 outs, a runner at first, Pena. And the 2-0 is caught on a miss by Upton, and the count 2-1. I think one thing, Susan, that when you're Phelps and you pitch this way and go through the lineup, you have to feel you can get him out.
I think so.
It'll be a 2-1. Swung on, pop foul back. Also, if you're the pitcher, you can see the swings that you're getting. You can see so much more when you're on the mound looking in. And I would think that would give you a little bit of confidence when you see poor swings or missed swings. It'll be a 2-2 to Upton. Pena, very short lead, not going anywhere. Until the ball's hit, of course. The throw to first, and Pena jumps on back. Yankees have tomorrow off, and there's no better feeling in baseball than when you go into the day off with a win. And then the Yankees play Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday night in Boston, making up for a rainout. And then Sunday night pitch is low inside. And the count 3-2. So now Pena gets a running start. Teixeira, I think, tells Phelps, I'm going to play behind the runner. He should. Pena's running anyway. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So it gives Pena a little bit of an advantage. And the right-hander is set about chest high and deals inside. So Upton walks. And there are 2 on and 2 out. And here is Brooks Conrad, who came in after Keppinger was hit on the elbow.
Conrad was just picked up on waivers not too long ago, a few weeks ago.
He is 8 for 31. Had a big pinch hit against the Yankees the other night.
Did indeed.
He's a switch hitter batting left. Pena at second. Upton at first with 2 out. And the pitch, slider low, and the count 1-0. Conrad in 31 at-bats has not done badly. A homer and 7 RBIs. But this is the guy you want. There's a much better hitter on deck in Ben Zobrist. Here is the 1-0. Way inside, and the count 2-0.
He's losing the strike zone a little bit here. Still throwing hard enough, but just getting those a little inside.
Now Conrad is in a great hitting spot. He's ahead 2-0. Runners lead first and second, 2 men out. And the right-hander deals fastball strike. So Phelps poured it in on the inside corner at 91. And the count 2-1. Phelps kind of leaning over, peering to get the sign from Martin. And he'll deal 2-1. Cut on him. Missed. He threw it by him. And the count 2-2. So Phelps behind 2-0 went right after Conrad. Now he obviously needs one more good pitch to get out of the inning. Runners lead off first and second, 2 out. And here's the 2-2. Struck him out swinging. Phelps has struck out 6. And he has not allowed a hit. Obviously not allowed a run over 3 innings. So no runs, no hits, and 2 left. Now the end of 3, no score on the Yanks radio network driven. Now we go to the top of the 4th. We are scoreless, and the Yankees have not had a base runner. Price has retired 9 in a row. Price has thrown 42 pitches in 3 innings, and I think Phelps has thrown 55. You heard David tell Susan on the leadoff spot that they expect him to throw about 80 pitches. I mean, if he pitches well, obviously. If he goes 5 or 6 innings scoreless, the Yankees would be very, very happy.
Yes, they would.
And you can use the bullpen today because you have tomorrow off.
Right. The only one who they probably won't use is Qualls, who pitched a lot yesterday. Everybody else is okay.
Well, here's the captain to lead off the 4th. We are scoreless. Jeter, Grandison, Teixeira. Conrad comes in at third to guard against the bunt. And Price deals a fastball high in the count 1-0. Jeter stopped his swing just in time.
This game is brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealer. Come in today and check out our low lease rates and great financing offers on all cars, trucks, crossovers, and SUVs. Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer today.
Here's the 1-0. Caught on a missed on a breaking ball. And the count 1-1.
Fastball followed by a curveball, and a couple of years ago you never would have seen that. First 2 pitches, mixing it up like that. And now he's got him. He's been going for a lot longer.
There's the 1-1. Swung on and driven deep, but foul down the right field line into the seats. Well, one thing about Price is that he has thrown all those pitches for strikes. So he has been extra tough today. That'll be a 1-2 to Jeter, leading off the 4th. And Price steals breaking ball in the dirt. Did he go? No. The check first base, Rob Drake said no swing. Now the count 2-2. That was the curveball that Jeter was able to just stop. Now the lefty is set to go. And the 2-2. Swung on, hit on the ground to short. Johnson digs it out and throws across, one away. Do you know what Mark Teixeira and I have in common? Well, we both wear our pinstripes off the field. Oh, we look dapper in our suits from Hart Schaffner Marks, an American tradition of fine tailored clothing since 1887. Visit them at hartschaffnermarks.com. Here's Grandison, who struck out his first time. And the lefty deals high. There was a bid for a perfect game last night. The lefty rookie Wei Chen of Baltimore had a perfect game in the bottom of the 7th inning in Seattle, but he fell behind Casper Wells 3-2. And the 1-0 is low. Well, if you have a perfect game, you're afraid to lose it by walking a batter. If you have a no-hitter going, no, you can walk a guy. So 3-2, he grooved the pitch, he wanted to throw a strike, and Wells hit it out, and that was the end of the perfect game. The 2-0 swung on and popped foul over our heads.
Isn't that interesting, John? Because I thought the same thing. If it's a no-hitter, you'd make your nastiest pitch, and if you walk them, you walk them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And they did win the game, Baltimore. Then they had the 2-1 is a fastball strike. Ford right across. I think they had a 3-0 lead. They wound up winning, I think, 4-3. So they trail the Yanks now by 5. That'll be a 2-2 to Granderson. And the pitch, a fastball, just missed.
Price turned around as if he had him. Didn't he? Oh,
that was a strike.
There's been a lot of that lately.
Oh, we just saw that on the replay. That cut the outside corner beautifully. So the count 3-2 with 1 out, no one on.
That was even a strike on the overhead camera.
Yeah. And there's the payoff. Grounded foul at home plate. Now the count holds at 3-2. One out, no one on. Top of the 4th. We're scoreless. There has not been a hit in the game, and the Yankees don't have a base runner yet. And here comes the payoff. Foul back. Granderson got a piece of a really good fastball all the way in. That fastball on the board clocked at 97. 97 in on the hands. That's a pretty good pitch. But Granderson got a piece to stay alive. Now Price deals, swung on and line deep but foul down the right field line. You realize how quick your hands and bat have to be to pull the pitch on Price. That was at 96.
That was one he had pulled it so foul you'd think, boy, maybe he was cheating. Maybe he was sort of guessing and starting to swing a little early.
Here's the payoff. Swung on and again hit down the right field line, foul into the seats. That was at 97. Hitters do cheat on the fastball. Cheating is not what you think. It just means you're moving your hands ahead so you can hit the pitch, and as a result, he's at 2 or 3 foul down the right field line.
So you can catch up with that fastball.
Now, Tampa puts 3 infielders on the right side as they've seen Granderson pull. Payoff is high, ball 4. The Yankees finally have a base runner. A 1-out walk. I would like to see if he can get a lead, if he can figure out Price move. I like to see Granderson go. You got to take some chances. You're not hitting him, obviously.
And that was another 10-pitch at bat. That's the second one he's had. To lead off the game, Derek Jeter had a 10-pitch at bat. That was just a 10-pitch at bat by Granderson. He threw his best fastball, got up to 98 miles an hour, but it was high. Overthrew it a little.
Well, here is Teixeira. Let's see if Granderson can get a lead. Granderson has stolen 6 out of 9. Yankees don't run a lot. Well, there are 2 guys who run the most aren't here. The pitch to Teixeira is a strike at the knees. Gardner's on the DL, and Eduardo Nunez was sent down to Scranton, although he was in the Yankee clubhouse the other day. He's rehabbing in Tampa. Well, those are the 2 guys who steal bases. There's the 0-1. It's chopped high to third. Conrad fields, throws to first in time. So there's the second out. But the Yankees have a runner at second. And if they can get a 2-out hit from A-Rod, they could take the lead.
I talked to Kevin Long about Alex yesterday, and of course everybody's very defensive about Alex. You know that he's not happy with what he's doing. It just doesn't look right. He's tried everything. He moved that stance a little bit. He moved the bat in your hand a little bit.
Now here's Alex with a very spread stance against Price. Grandison off second, and the pitch is low. Every second baseman plays A-Rod almost behind second. Rodriguez not behind second, but he can't be more than 2 steps off the bag. Well, what it does is it allows Rodriguez to try to cut down the lead of Grandison. But Curtis runs so well that if there is a base hit to the outfield, he will undoubtedly score. It'll be a 1-0 to A-Rod. Cut on a miss, off speed, and he was way ahead. And the count 1-1.
And you can see how he's going to pitch, Alex. Mix that up. That was a curveball. So you start him off with that fastball in the mid-90s, and now you got an 81-mile-an-hour curveball.
Tough, you know.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, I mean, he got to be ahead. When a guy's throwing 96 and 97, you have to be looking for it. There's the 1-1. Swung on a high pop foul, first base side out of play. And the count 1-2. Grandison, the runner at second with 2 men out. And A-Rod behind on the count 1-2. Now the lefty is set and the pitch is low. Called strike 3. Dramatically by Mike Estabrook. So that is strikeout number 6 for Price. No runs, no hits, 1 left. Into 3.5, no score on the Yanks radio network driven by Jeep. Well, David Phelps has been great through 3 innings. Now, the way David Price is pitching, he better continue to be great. There's not been a hit in the ball game. Phelps has thrown 55 pitches in 3, and he'll deal to Ben Zobrist to lead off the 4th, and the pitch is outside. Zobrist by far hit the hardest ball of the game. 2 on, 2 out in the first. His bid for a base hit and at least 1 RBI was caught by Cano in a great catch. The 1-0 cut on and foul back in the count 1-1.
Scoreboard update sponsored by Prudential. Bring your challenges just underway in the American League. Boston at Oakland. Aaron Cook against A.J. Griffin. Angels in Cleveland just underway. Irvin Santana against Derek Lowe. Baltimore and Seattle just started. Chris Tillman against Hector Noesi. He must have just come up, Chris Tillman.
The pitch is inside low. Maybe he came up when Mattis was sent down.
Oh, could be.
Maybe. Yeah. The guy pitching today for Oakland, I also never heard of. You knew, huh?
A.J. Griffin? No, I don't know A.J. Griffin.
The 2-1. A half swing. Did he go? Nope. They check the third base umpire, Sam Holbrook. So Phelps behind 3-1 to Zobrist. A switch hitter batting left.
Twins in Detroit at 7. Brian Dunsing against Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander's only 8-5 this year.
The 3-1 is outside ball 4. So Zobrist is on. That is the 3rd walk given up by Phelps. And here is Luke Scott, who struck out his first time.
Kansas City will be at Toronto at 7. Luis Mendoza against Carlos Villanueva. And Texas at the White Sox. Scott Feldman against Dylan Axelrod. The Yankees saw last week. Couple of finals. Washington beat San Francisco 9-4. Pablo Sandoval hit his 7th homer for San Francisco. Zimmerman, Moore, Solano, and Keel all homered for Washington. Edwin Jackson beat Madison Bumgarner.
Throw to first, and back is Zobrist. Now, Zobrist will run. He hasn't run well this year. He's just 7 out of 13, but that tells you he will run.
Cliff Lee got his first win today as the Phillies beat the Mets 9-2. Chris Young takes the loss, although he only gave up 3 runs in 7 innings, and they were in the 7th. The bullpen gave up the rest.
The pitch is squib foul on the ground outside third. Now the count 0-1 on Scott.
Chase Utley, his 2nd homer. Carlos Ruiz, his 13th. And Ty Wigginton, his 9th. For Philly, Scott Hairston, his 11th. for the Mets. Pirates leading Houston 4-3. Dallas Keuchel started that game against Kevin Correa of the Pirates. Miami is at Milwaukee. They're just underway. Josh Johnson against Randy Wolf. Did you hear Ozzy's tirade last night?
I did.
Oh, my goodness.
Very Ozzy Guillen-like. And there's the 0-1. Foul back. Well, one thing you have to admit. The media jumps on the people who are, plastic and say cliche things. Then they jump on Ozzy Guillen, who tells you exactly how he feels. They almost can't win.
You are who you are. You wouldn't be quiet for too long.
Now, be an 0-2 to Scott. A lefty hitter with power struck out his first time. Zobrist leads off first. Bottom of the fourth, no score. Not only no score, but there has not been a hit in the game. A throw to first, and back is Zobrist.
Cubs are in Atlanta. Paul Maholm against Randall Delgado. It'll be Jeremy Guthrie against Adam Wainwright as Colorado is in St. Louis. Cincinnati's at the Dodgers. Mike Leake against Aaron Harang. And it'll be Jason Marquis against Ian Kennedy as San Diego's in Arizona. That's tonight at 9:45.
Now, the right-hander Phelps ready to deal. A high pop off first to Sharon near the Tampa Bay dugout, but it's going to be over the dugout in the crowd. On the count holds 0-2. It could very well be, even if he pitches great, that Phelps will have run out of his 80 pitches either this inning or in the fifth. But if he holds him to 0, then the Yankees will fill in with the bullpen, and they have Epley and Rapata and Logan and Robertson and Soriano, so they have plenty enough pitching to go through 9. And good pitches, too, I might add.
Scott now in an 0-for-33 skid. I figure he's got to connect on one at some point, right?
Now, Phelps will deal 0-2. First, he throws over to first.
And how do you figure that? He's such a good hitter and has been.
It's very tough to figure. Now, the right-hander deals. Strike 3, fastball inside corner. And that is Phelps' 7th strikeout. Now, one thing, Susan mentioned to Phelps on their interview, what a big opportunity, and he's making the most of it.
It really is. It really is a terrific start for him. There is going to be one spot that's going to be open for a long time. Cece's coming back after the All-Star game, but Andy's not.
Here's the switch-hitting catcher, Jose Lobaton. Now, he struck out his first time. 1 on, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the fourth. No score. And the pitch is a strike on the inside corner. One thing, that was on the inside corner. We looked at the pitch that struck out Scott, and that was right over the inside part of the plate, but not on the inside corner. That was a very hittable pitch.
When you have these kinds of problems, A-Rod's doing the same thing. You get caught in between. When he's going well, Luke Scott pummels that pitch, as does Alex with the pitch he struck out on.
It'll be an 0-1. And that pitch inside the count 1-1.
Teixeira once explained it to me as well. When you think it's a curveball, it's a fastball. When you think it's a fastball, it's a curveball.
The New York State Smokers Quit Line. Go to nysmokefree.com or call 866-NY-QUITS for help quitting today. It'll be a 1-1 to Lobaton. And a throw over. And pretty close, but Zobrist got back. Well, if you're Tampa Bay, you have to think about running. Zobrist runs a lot, not successfully, but runs a lot. And a game like this, not only is there no score, there are no hits. So you got to make the most of every opportunity. There he goes. The pitch is taken. And no throw. Martin started to throw twice and didn't. Maybe there was no one there in time. So Zobrist gets a stolen base.
Stolen base number 8 on the season for Ben Zobrist. Stolen base number 8.
Well, let's see it from Martin's point of view, because Jeter was there. He gets that. He double pumped a couple of times. I guess either didn't see Jeter get there or thought it was too late and thought better of throwing it.
Now there's a runner at second, 1 out. The 2-1 to Lobaton is low. Now the count 3-1. A right-hander who's on deck, Sean Rodriguez. So Zobrist now his 8th stolen base, 8 out of 14. That's not a very good percentage. But there he is at second, carrying the game's first run. Phelps holds the set about chest high, and the pitch is foul back, and the count 3-2. Martin goes out to have a talk with his young right-hander.
Yes, just had a film of Jabba taking a bullpen under the watchful eye of Larry Rothschild about 11 o'clock this morning. And he's going to throw to hitters on Friday.
Now the right-hander is set, and Phelps' payoff is strike 3. And that time Lobaton checked his swing and then walked away. He knew it was a strike. Well, Phelps is doing unusually well. He has 8 strikeouts. And here is the right-hander, Sean Rodriguez. Jeter just had a word with Phelps.
You know, that was an amazing pitch. That was an amazing pitch when it broke. It broke away from the batter, but stayed over the plate.
So they're a two-way with Zobrist at second. Rodriguez struck out his first time, and the pitch is outside, and the count 1-0. Well, if you have a lot of strikeouts and you have walks, you're going to throw a lot of pitches, and Phelps has done that. He's at 71. He has struck out 8 and walked 3. Zobrist off second with 2 out. The 1-0 is low on the count 2-0. Well, this is 4 innings with 2 outs in the 4th inning. That's 11 outs. 8 have been by strikeouts. A couple of fly balls to Granderson. There is a 2-0. Cut on him. Missed. And the count 2-1. That was his cut fastball and moving away from the right-hand hitter. He's throwing the mystery fastball today.
He really has. That also was high. That was around the letters. It was definitely a strike, but cut a little bit.
Now, the right-hander is set to be a 2-1. Fastball strike. You can call that from up here. And the count 2-2.
Martin sets up on the corner, and he throws it right there. And that turned out to be not on the corner. That was on the outer half of the plate, but that almost cut the plate in half.
So it'll be a 2-2 to Sean Rodriguez, a right-hand hitter. Zobrist leads off second with 2 outs. And the pitch is low on the count 3-2. You know, I looked at my scorecard. There were 2 fly balls to Granderson, both by Jennings. The other out, that was the leaping catch by Cano. That may turn out to be the biggest play of the game. It might. It'll be a 3-2 to Sean Rodriguez. Zobrist has to play it safe with being at second base. He has good speed. He could score on a base hit to the outfield anyway. I'll be a 3-2, and the pitch is grounded foul at home plate. And the count holds at 3-2.
You look at the hitting of this Tampa team, and you almost shake your head at how the Yankees could have lost twice to this team. They got an infield. Now the infield is Conrad, Johnson, Sean Rodriguez around the horn. They're all the same player. They're exactly the same kind of player. People that you'd say are gritty little ball players. The
3-2 line, base hit to right field. Zobrist will score. A line drive just over the glove of Teixeira. So it's a 2-out base hit and RBI by Sean Rodriguez. And Tampa takes a 1-0 lead.
And Larry Rothschild coming out to talk to Phelps, and that's exactly what I mean. Sean Rodriguez just took him the other way. Cody Epley is up in the bullpen because he's at 77 pitches, and he said to me he could go 80, 85. But, he's got a lot of strikeouts, and he's never gone, isn't up to throwing 5 innings yet in games. Rothschild talked to him. But that's what this Tampa team does. He took a pitch that was up on the outer half of the plate and went with it. Lined it into right field over the leap of Teixeira,
who just missed it. Now, there's the first hit of the game. And Tampa, on that hit, takes a 1-0 lead. Rodriguez gets his 25th RBI. Here's Elliott Johnson. And a throw to first base. Rodriguez might very well run, too. So Tampa gets the hit and the run. They have a 1-0 lead. Elliott Johnson struck out his first time. And again, Phelps throws over. Close, no cigar. I'll get you a station break momentarily. 1-0 Tampa. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Rodriguez leads off first. Elliott Johnson, a switch hitter batting left. And the pitch is caught on him, is threw it by him. A throw back to first, and they got him. How do y'all like that? So Rodriguez gets picked off 2-3. And for Tampa, 1 run, 1 hit, and no one left. Now the end of 4. It's 1-0 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Ten-second station ID on the New York Yankees radio network.
Hey, this is Mark Teixeira. You think some home runs travel far? Check out The Signal on WCBS 880 and take the Yankees with you on the road.
John Sterling, Susan Wallman back at Tropicana. We go to the 5th. Yankees only have 1 base runner, and that was a 1-out walk last inning to Granderson. They trail 1-0. Tampa only has 1 hit, but a ribby single by Rodriguez on another stolen base against the Yanks. Zobrist stole the base, and Rodriguez delivered him with a 2-out hit. Now here is Robbie Cano to lead it off. Cano, Swisher, and Jones. Cano, the lone lefty hitter in the group. And the pitch to Cano is line to left center field. There's a base hit. It is cut off in the gap by Jennings, and Cano is on, breaking up the no-hitter with a clean single to left center.
And John, I was just thinking that Yankees, as they got their first hit, I was thinking about Russell Martin. That's why you have to put yesterday out of your mind. After the day he had, there he goes. He must feel a lot better. If he was sulking about last night, would he have picked off Rodriguez on first base? Well, it was a terrific play by Russell Martin.
Yes, it was. As they got Rodriguez. Well, here is Swisher, who grounded as short his first time. Cano, the tying run, leads off first, and Price goes over there. Cano, not a base stealer. Price is at 64 pitches. He got a long way to go. If the Yankees take out Phelps, there's no one warming up, but that would be too early. Pitch to Swisher is high. But Susan, if the Yankees take out Phelps, he'll have more than done his job. He was obviously really impressive. Oh, absolutely. And he really, after the first inning, he had great pace, hitting spots, great movement on that fastball. Swisher digging in. Cano with a short lead. And the left-hander now deals. There's a strike. And the count 1-1. The second baseman, Sean Rodriguez, plays Swisher near second, as he obviously pulls ground balls from as being a right-hand hitter. But with Pena holding the runner on, there's a tremendous open area on the right side. The pitch is low. And even if you say, well, that's not his swing and he won't be able to do it, With a guy like Price, you can swing late. Sometimes he'll fire the ball inside on the hands, and that's about all you can do is fight it off. Anyway, that's where the hole in the infield is. That'll be a 2-1 to Swisher. Caught on, missed on a breaking ball. Big curveball, and Swisher missed it, and the count 2-2.
So you can't look for that curveball, because if he throws that 97-mile fastball, you're a dead duck anyway. So you try and recognize that he didn't. He guessed fastball and got the curve.
Swisher back in. It'll be a 2-2. Cano at first with his leadoff hit. Now Price holds the set and the pitch. It's fastball, strike 3. 1 away. Today's game presented by your local tri-state area Audi dealers and the new 2012 Audi A6. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. We have seen Price a lot, and this is the best I've ever seen him, because he has added the other pitches to his repertoire, and the Yankees are guessing and guessing badly. In other words, Swisher probably thinking, well, I missed the curve by so much, he'll come back again. He threw a fastball, and Swisher couldn't pull the trigger. Here's Andrew Jones with 1 on and 1 out. And the pitch is swung on and grounded towards short. Johnson goes to second. There's 1 on to first. Double play. 6-4-3 double play. No runs on a hit, no one left at the end of 4.5. 1-0 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, we go to the 5th inning. It's the Daily News 5th. Sponsored by the Daily News, New York's hometown everything. And we're joined in the booth by Mark Feinsand of the Daily News. Tampa has a 1-0 lead. Zobrist walked. It always begins with a walk. Stole second. And with 2 outs after 2 more strikeouts by Phelps, Sean Rodriguez delivered the ribby single, a line drive just over the leap of Teixeira to right. So Tampa has a 1-0 lead. Phelps is at 78 pitches. He begins the bottom of the 5th, but the Yankees have lefty and righty in their bullpen. Here's Elliott Johnson to lead off, and he bluffs bunt and takes a strike. Well, Mark, obviously, what we have to talk about is David Phelps, who has exceeded all hopes by the Yankees.
Oh, no question, John. He's come out here and gone toe-to-toe with David Price. When you consider what Price is doing today, it's a pretty impressive outing so far on both sides.
Well, but we know that Price is an all-star and a great pitcher, but here's the 0-1 to Johnson. Swung on and line. There's a base hit center field. So a hard, clean single by Elliott Johnson and a good start for Tampa in the 5th.
Mark, what did you see different after that first inning, as Cody Epley and Clay Rapata are up in the pen now, because he's getting pretty close to where he should stop. But in the first inning, he looked a little tentative, and after that, he really put it together.
Well, he hasn't pitched in the major leagues in a while, and when he was here, he was barely pitching to begin with. So I'm sure there were a little bit of nerves in David Phelps when he first got out there. But like you said, he sort of found his rhythm, settled in, and he's given them very good 4 innings. And with 80 pitches now, his day is just about over.
Throw to first, back is Johnson. Johnson will run, and Tampa's so successful, you figure he would run. He has stolen 14 out of 18, and in the last 2 games, Tampa is 6 for 6 in stolen bases. Again, Phelps throws over, and again, Mr. Johnson is safe.
Mark, you're going to have to explain to me. Now, I like Darnell McDonald. I think he's a good player, can play anywhere. You're going to have to explain to me how this is going to work.
Well, I think in the immediate future, my guess here is that David Phelps gets sent down on Friday.
The pitch is bunted up the first baseline. Teixeira slips to Cano just in time. So the sacrifice works 3-4. Here is Joe Girardi. Carlos Pena is the hitter. If he doesn't bring in Rapata, you got to scoop him.
And this call to the bullpen is sponsored by Hyundai. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today and check out the 2012 Sonata. NY quits for help quitting today as Clay Rapata comes on. There's Carlos Pena. And Mark will finish why the Yankees have gotten Darnell McDonald.
Right after this pitch.
Here's Carlos Pena, lefty to lefty. And the pitch is a strike fastball on the inside corner.
Like I said, I think Phelps will wind up being the guy who gets sent down Friday. He's not going to pitch again before the All-Star break. CC Sabathia is expected back after the All-Star break, so there's that spot. And if CC's not ready, it'll be 10 days between that time where they would need him again, so they could always bring Phelps back up. As for why they got McDonald, they're going to face 3 lefties this weekend at Fenway. He does hit lefties well, and it just gives them an additional bat for the weekend.
It'll be an 0-1. Pena takes a fastball outside the count, 1-1. You know, if it was football, they would sign him and then try to find out stuff, which I don't think means anything anyway. But baseball, they don't really do that.
I'm guessing Bobby Valentine will change the signs before Friday. Just a hunch.
I think you're right. There'll be a 1-1 to Pena with Johnson off second, and the pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. That's threading the needle, kind of on the corner of the outside corner. And the count 1-2. Meanwhile, Mark, David Price looks fabulous.
Well, he's an all-star for a reason. He's got a chance to start, I think, for the American League. And he's having another great year. I think 11 wins, an ERA under 3 coming into today, and certainly dominating the Yankees thus far.
The 1-2, breaking balls outside. I've never seen him throw more breaking balls, and it's made him a much better pitcher because you don't know what's coming.
He's really matured into a very good pitcher, not just a guy who goes out there and throws hard. Obviously, he still does that, but he's more than just a lefty who goes out there and throws hard. He knows what he's doing out there.
Now, the pitch to Pena is low outside, another fastball. And so the count is 3-2. This could be the only batter that Rapata faces. Epley is ready in the bullpen, and there's a right-hand hitter on deck, B.J. Upton. And the Yankees know one thing. They better stay close. They're down 1-0. No, they almost know they have to stay close. Here comes the payoff. And the breaking ball's outside. So Pena walks. And Tampa has 2 on and 1 out. And here comes Girardi.
And this call to the bullpen is sponsored by 877 Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K. Donate your car today at carsforkids.com.
Winners come in all shapes and sizes. Some have pins.
Scratch-off games today. Well, the new pitcher is Cody Epley. While we're at it, tonight's injury report brought to you by Advanced Radiation Centers in New York. When it comes to fighting cancer, precision is everything. And they've just announced Jeff Keppinger, who was hit by a pitch by David Phelps, has a bruised left bicep. Not on the X-rays were taken, and they are negative.
Well, Cody Epley throwing his warm-up pitches. Today's game presented by your local tri-state area Audi dealers and the new 2012 Audi A6. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees.
Once again, Jeff Keppinger left the game in the top of the 3rd inning with a bruised left tricep.
Well, Mark, no matter what happens in this game, David Phelps has proved that he can get big league hitters out. I know it's not that lineup like the Chicago White Sox lineup was. You can only beat who you face. But I thought he was very impressive today.
Well, and I think it puts a little pressure on Freddie Garcia to go out and pitch a good game this weekend, because even though Sabathia is coming back next week, Pettit's still out for the rest of the next month and a half to 2 months.
Now here's B.J. Upton, 2 on and 1 out, bottom of the 5th, 1-0 Tampa, and Upton takes outside, and the count 1-0. I'm not giving you the numbers on Phelps yet, because he's responsible for the runner at second. That's Elliott Johnson. Rapata responsible for the runner at first, Carlos Pena. Upton has struck out and walked, and it'll be a 1-0. And there goes the runner to third. The throw is not made. I'll tell you one reason the throw wasn't made. Nix wasn't there. Now that time Martin did the right thing. If he threw, the ball would be down the left field line, and there'd be a run scored. Tampa Bay has run the Yankees dizzy over this 3-game series.
That was Elliott Johnson's 15th stolen base.
15 out of 19.
Jason Nix didn't see him running until he
No,
was
he
more than halfway down the baseline.
He didn't see him.
So first and third, one out. Yankees still play the infield deep, hoping to get the ground ball to turn 2. Well, you better turn it quickly. Upton can really run. The 2-0 is inside. And the count 3-0.
Hey, Mark, what was the discussion today with Joe about Russell Martin and his night last night?
Well, Joe brushed aside the night last night and pointed out that Russell's defense has been, better than average most of the year. He's called good games. All the pitchers, obviously with the exception of Sabathia, who he hasn't caught since the first 2 weeks, all the other pitchers have thrown very well to him.
The 3-0 is caught on him as they turned him loose. And Upley threw a nasty 2-seamer down in it.
As bad as Russell Martin has been offensively, Girardi doesn't think that the offensive struggles are playing into his defense. I think his defense has been fine, with the exception of last night, obviously. But he did, reinforce the fact that Russell Martin is his everyday catcher.
Here's the 3-1. First, Upley steps off. The runner at third, Elliott Johnson. The runner at first, Pena. 1-0 Tampa. And we're in the bottom of the fifth. Now Upley's 3-1. Caught on a missed, and the count 3-2.
Mark, they just flashed a stat on the screen here that the bullpen in the last 6 games, 0-3, 6.75 ERA, and they were 10-4 before that with an ERA of under 2.5. Just the foibles of going ups and downs in the season, or some people really getting exposed? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of both. These guys are working a lot right now, and obviously part of that is the fact that they have the 2 injuries to the starters. There have been some games where they've had to pick up a few more innings than usual, but you look at Epley, you look at Rapata, you look at Logan. These guys have pitched a lot more than most people expected they would, especially the first 2.
That's one of the reasons I don't know when it would be, but I do hope Java can come back, because it would lengthen the bullpen, and they need that. Here's a 3-2. And it's grounded foul. They started Pena. They played hit and run on 3-2. Actually, it's more run and hit, because if the ball is off the plate, he doesn't have to swing and be ball 4. And one more thing, they're so aggressive. You start a slow runner like Pena. If Martin would throw through, you can bet Johnson would head home. Throw to first, and back is Johnson. Is Pena. Johnson at third. That'll be a 3-2 to Upton. Now, if he strikes him out, then they ought to throw to second, because then strike him out, throw him out, double play would end the inning. And Epley again bluffs toward third and first.
John, while we wait for this pitch, I wanted to take a quick chance to wish you a very happy birthday today.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Now, the right-hander is set, and the payoff. Struck him out swinging, and again, Martin didn't throw. Yankees didn't cover either.
Stolen base.
So it's another stolen base, this one by Pena. And when he steals a base, you ought to strike a commemorative stamp. So second and third, 2 out. And here is a big batter in this game, Brooks Conrad.
Well, he stood up and ready, but there was Cano wasn't there. No one was there.
So the Yankees decided not to cover and take a fielder out of position. That is the 9th strikeout by Yankee pitching. Talk about Epley, who's been such a great surprise. I looked at that last pitch on the monitor, and boy, does he throw a tough sinker. That ball really sank down and in, and Upton missed it. Well, here's Conrad, a switch hitter batting left. And he fouls it off in the count 0-1.
Here's the other thing about that not throwing. As soon as, like last night, if he lets go of that ball and throws to try and get Pena, Elliott Johnson scores.
Well, not only that, Susan, we talked to Joe Girardi last night about that specific play.
Right.
That's a call from the bench. The reason Cano wasn't covering or Jeter wasn't covering, that wasn't either of them missing the runner going.
Right.
The call from the bench is, let him take second, we're not throwing down. Last night the call was, you throw down. So it's not always up to the catcher or the infielders whether to go for it. It's from the bench.
Now here's the 0-1. Caught on a miss in the count 0-2. In this case, though, I understand why they didn't want to leave position. But if you throw Pena out, the inning is over. It doesn't matter if Johnson runs, if you throw him out. Well, Epley is one strike away from getting out of a big fat jam. And the way Price is pitching, important for the Yankees to hold it to a 1-0 deficit. It'll be an 0-2 to Conrad, who struck out in his only time at bat. And the 0-2, strike 3, outside corner. Beautiful pitch. He's tough. Well, Mark, we thank you.
Thank you.
No runs, 1 hit, 2 left, and now at the end of 5 innings of play, it's 1-0 Tampa on the Yankees Radio Network, driven by Jeep.
There's a good benefits, including field level tickets to a select home game. A portion of all proceeds are donated to Memorial Sloan Kettering. Visit Yankees.com.
Now here is the line on Phelps, and he was more than impressive. I mean, he was really tough. 4 1/3, 1 run, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 2 hit batsmen. So the Yankees are down 1-0, going to the 6th. Clutch pitching by Epley, who has been one of the big surprises of the year for the Yanks. Here's Russell Martin to lead it off. Martin, Nix, Jeter, 8-9-1, 3 right-hand hitters against the lefty Price, who has been dominating. He's given up just 1 hit. And deals, and Russell takes high. 1 hit, 1 walk. Only 2 men have reached base in 5 innings. There's the 1-0, up high in the count, 2-0. As far as pitch count, Price is in phenomenal shape. And he also doesn't have a pitch again until Tuesday at the earliest if he starts the All-Star game, or if he pitches in the All-Star game.
And if he starts, that's what, 2 innings?
Yeah, you can't pitch more than that. It'll be a 2-0. Swung on, a high pop to shallow right. Zobrist coming toward the line and crosses the line to make the catch. 1 away. One of the cute lines in All-Star after the Red Sox had won. Terry Francona was the manager, and obviously Mariano made the team. And Francona said, tell Joe Torre not to worry. I'm only going to pitch Mo about 5 innings.
Right.
Well, 1 away. Here is Jason Nix. 10-second station ID on the New York Yankees Radio Network. John Sterling, Susan Wallman back at Tropicana. The first pitch to Nix was high. On the count 1-0. And there's the 1-0. There's a strike on the outside corner. See how dominating Price is. Martin was ahead on the count. Good hitters count 2-0. And all he could do was pop it up down the right field line. Actually caught a step in foul territory by Zobrist. 1-0 Tampa. We're in the top of the 6th. 1 out, no one on. It'll be a 1-1 to Jason Nix. And the breaking ball is high in the count 2-1. The Hebrew Home in Riverdale is your one complete reliable source for the finest full range of services, including nursing and rehab. I've seen what makes the Hebrew Home so special. You will too. Give them a call at 800-56-SENIOR. The 2-1. A high pop off first. Pena going toward the stands. And the ball is 4 or 5 rows back. Now the count 2-2.
Tampa goes to Cleveland after this. Finish up for the All-Star break.
The Yankees at the beginning of the year were swept by Tampa here. The one game they absolutely should have won. And there's the 2-2. He struck him out swing on a breaking ball. 2 away. And, you know, this game, you got to say, hey, Price is great. But the first 2 games the Yankees could have won anyway. They would have lost 6 in a row this year, and I think 9 or 10 overall. Now that is the 8th strikeout for Price. Tampa has a 1-0 lead. We're in the top of the 6th with 2 outs and no one on. And Price steals, grounded foul at home plate. And the Red Sox are playing on the West Coast, and they're in Oakland.
They're losing 1-0. Whoop, excuse me. Just check that. David Ortiz just hit his 400th homer. It's 1-1. Up to the minute. Tracking.
Here's the 0-1. Caught on him. I count 0-2. And the Red Sox and the Yankees both have tomorrow off. Red Sox have a much longer flight. And then in Boston, Friday night, Saturday at noon, Saturday at 7, and Sunday night at 8.
Sounds good to me. Who makes this schedule?
It'll be at 0-2 to Jeter. And the lefty deals up high in the count 1-2.
You know, think back, John, when Minnesota thought that David Ortiz was, an okay player and was never really going to do anything. Now he's got 400 home runs.
And has become one of the great sluggers of our era. And also, he's a terrific hitter, not just a home run hitter. He gets his base hits. The 1-2 is low inside. And a couple of years ago, the media and talk shows were all but casting him adrift. He wasn't hitting in the beginning of the year.
And he didn't have any homers, I think, through April. One of the things I remember Ron Gardenhire saying that we always thought he could hit, but he'd always get hurt. And I don't know whether it was playing on the turf every time he'd go into a...
The 2-2 is an off-speed pitch low in the count 3-2.
Every time he'd go off on a tear, he'd pull a hamstring. And he played first. He played a little outfield back then. And I don't know whether it was playing on the turf in the Metrodome. I don't know what it was. But they didn't think he was ever going to be able to stay on the field.
Well, there are a lot of decisions you have to make, and they made the wrong decision. Yeah. Now, here's the payoff to Jeter. Jeter has grounded out twice to short. And the 3-2. Breaking ball's line, base hit to right field. Cut off by Zobrist. It was a breaking ball, but it was up. And Jeter pounced on it and lined it to right. And here is Curtis Granderson. So Jeter safely at first. Help ensure your family's financial future is safe and secure. Contact your...
He hung a breaking ball, and Jeter was on it, just lofted it into right field, as he does.
Granderson has struck out and walked. And now the Rays overshift on Granderson. The shortstop, Elliott Johnson, playing behind second base. Price throws over to first. Tampa has a 1-0 lead. The key, obviously, in this game is for the Yankees to hold Tampa to 1. Really, you never can tell when you have a chance to score a run. It can come in a variety of ways. A walk and an error, a wild pitch. Remember the run the Yankees scored to take the lead the other night? A walk, a wild pitch, a fly ball, and another fly ball. So that's how they scored the run. So also, you never can tell when you get a pitch in the right area for you and hit it out. And the pitch to Granderson is a breaking ball low on the count 1-0.
Fans come out to the stadium on Saturday, July 14th. The first 18,000 guests, 21 and older, receive a Yankees Dunkin' Donut cards preloaded with $2 for tickets. Log on to Yankees.com.
It'll be a 1-0 to Granderson. We're in the top of the 6th. 2 outs. Jeter at first. And Tampa with a 1-0 lead. Jeter a short lead. And the pitch, a fastball strike on the inside corner. And the count 1-1. That's an unhittable pitch. He threw it 96 up and in. You can't extend the arms. That's just a great pitch. We just saw it again on replay. What a pitch.
Wow.
throw over. For years, the phrase then was "smoke 'em high and tight." So that's what he did. He smoked them high and tight. Now, lefty is set to go. It'll be a 1-1. And that fastball outside. One fastball all the way in, one fastball just off the outside corner. And Granderson ahead on the count, 2-1. Mark Teixeira is on deck. Price at the belt, and the pitch got on a missed slider away. That's a harder pitch, a harder breaking ball, and Granderson came up empty, and the count 2-2.
And you called the other one an unhittable pitch? That was an unhittable pitch.
Well, he's pretty tough.
Well, starts at the thigh, and when Lobaton got it, it was on the ground.
Now here comes the 2-2 to Granderson. And that fastball low outside, just missed. Price gave it a look. You know, you can tell when a pitcher thinks he had it when he looked in. Well, really, though, let's see the pitch, Susan.
Might be an inch outside. It was pretty close.
It was close.
Well, he's calling a very tight strike zone today.
It'll be a 3-2 to Granderson. Swung on and drilled deep at foul. Just too quick. Went deep in the right field seats. With 2 strikes, they have moved Johnson over to the third base side of second. Third baseman Conrad plays wide of third. Now he moves back again. I guess the feeling is with 2 strikes, you're going to cut down on your swing, I guess. Jeter will be running 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch is cut on and grounded foul. First base side. So the count holds 3-2. I don't know what it means. I don't know how many pitches Price is allowed to throw. For example, like CeCe, he's allowed to throw 115 usually.
Well, he's gone as high as 119, 115. He had 123 he threw playing Atlanta. Depends how easy the pitches are, I guess.
The 3-2 is foul back to the netting, so the count holds at 3-2. He is up at 92 pitches. He's not losing any velocity. That one was 97. It amazes me how hitters can make contact at pitches thrown that hard. Now Jeter leads off first. He'll be running 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the payoff. Struck him out swing on a breaking ball. Way out ahead. That's the 9th strikeout for Price. No runs, a hit, and 1 left. Now the end of 5.5. It's 1-0 Tampa on the Yanks Radio Network, driven by Jeep. Papa John's. Well, today's pitch count brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Hours and hours of energy. David Phelps threw 81 pitches and 47 for strikes. He was brilliant. David Price a little more brilliant. 1-0 Tampa, bottom of the 6th. Ben Zobrist will lead it off. He lined out. Great catch by Cano, and then walked and stole the base and scored the only run of the game. A switch hitter batting left. That pitch outside from Cody Epley. And the count 1-0. Epley came on and got the final 2 outs, both strikeouts, with runners at first and third. The 1-0 is inside the count 2-0.
Scoreboard update is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit them at geico.com.
Both teams have 2 hits. Tampa the only run. The 2-0, and there's a strike on the inside corner, 2-1.
In Oakland, Boston and Oakland tied up one apiece, both solo home runs. David Ortiz, his 22nd. Brandon Moss for Oakland, his 10th. Aaron Cook and A.J. Griffin in that one.
Well, here's the 2-1. And it's grounded foul off Zobrist's foot. He's limping around. The ball stayed dead at home plate, but he is walking away.
Cleveland beating up on the Angels. It's only through 2.5. It's 9-1 Cleveland over the Angels. Boy, they didn't look like they could score 9 runs when they were here, did they?
No.
Irvin Santana started that game. He's gone. Takahashi is in. Derek Lowe pitching for Cleveland. Michael Brantley and Casey Kochman both hit homers for Cleveland.
You know, that's the way to stop their running game.
Yeah, right.
Scored 9 runs early.
Scored 9 runs early, right. Baltimore leading Seattle 3-0. Adam Jones, his 20th home run.
The 2-2. Swung on a fly ball to left center. Grandison is there, and he makes the catch. And then there's one away.
Later on, Twins at Detroit, Kansas City at Toronto, and Texas at the White Sox at 7. 3 finals. Washington beat San Francisco 9-4. Phillies beat the Mets 9-2. Cliff Lee finally gets his first win. He's 1-5. Chris Young takes the loss. Pirates beat Houston 6-4. Kevin Correa beat Dallas Keuchel. Now, there were rumors all day that Carlos Lee is being traded to the Miami Marlins, and evidently the Houston beat writers walked into the clubhouse and his clubhouse stuff is gone, and he's gone.
The pitch is low. Well, Miami certainly needed another bat. They got a really good one.
And a first baseman.
Wouldn't you love to know why would Lee not want to go to the Dodgers but would want to go to Miami?
Maybe it's closer. Houston, Miami, is it closer?
One of those. He's not driving. They're going to take a plane.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How many years has he been there? He's been there a long time.
Right.
Okay, the day he's traded, he cleans out his locker and bolts?
I have no idea.
Doesn't say goodbye to the writers, to anybody?
There'll be a 2-0 to Scott with 1 out, no one on. The 6th pitch is a check swing foul. He got a piece of it. Went back to the screen. So the count 2-1.
So Scott is now 0 for 34. He's 0 for 32 coming in this game. Struck out twice, and now he's 0 for his last 34. Milwaukee leading Miami 5-1. They're in the bottom of the 3rd in Milwaukee. That's Josh Johnson getting beat around.
The 2-1, a high chopper to the mound. Epley fields and throws to first for the out, and there are 2 away.
0 for 35. Cubs at Atlanta tonight. Paul Maholm against Randall Delgado. Colorado at St. Louis at 7. Jeremy Guthrie against Adam Wainwright. Cincinnati's at the Dodgers. Mike Leake against Aaron Harang. San Diego at Arizona. Jason Marquis against Ian Kennedy. And evidently part of that deal, Houston's eating a huge chunk of that $9 million still owed Carlos Lee.
Now here is Lobaton with 2 outs, no one on. The switch-hitting catcher. Lobaton has struck out twice. We had a lot of strikeouts in the game. And pitch outside. Yankee pitchers have struck out 10, and Price has struck out 9. Well, that's a lot of strikeouts. One thing about Epley, he has impressed so much, and he gets lefties on. He may be a side-arming righty. The 1-0 pitch is fouled off, but he has such a hard sinker down and away. He gets the lefty hitters. And as I say that, Boone Logan is up in the bullpen. But this may be all they want to pitch Epley an inning and 2/3. And then they'll have Logan, Robertson, and Soriano for the final 3. I'm just guessing, of course, but Logan is already up. There are 2 outs, no one on. It'll be a 1-1. And Lobaton swings and misses in the count 1-2.
Carlos Lee just traded to Miami. Is hitting .286. He's only got 5 home runs.
And that's tough to believe, too, because if you ever saw left field in Houston, you know, that the left field wall in Houston looks like it's right back a shortstop.
It does.
And it'll be a 1-2. And that pitch, a sinker, missed outside the count 2-2.
Well, I guess it's better than Gabby Sanchez, who was hitting .194.
Boy, that's another
and
amazing
that's hard
story.
To believe, too.
He was sent back, too.
Yep.
Amazing.
And now he's really sent back.
It'll be a 2-2. And the pitch outside, and the count 3-2. Yeah, he was supposed to hit. And you know that Reyes and Hanley Ramirez were supposed to hit. Nothing special this year.
Nope.
Well, it'll be a payoff pitch to Lobaton. A right-hand hitter's on deck, Sean Rodriguez. 2 outs, no one on. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Tampa has the only run in the game. Both teams have just 2 hits. Here's Epley's payoff. Swung on, hit on the ground. There's a base hit between first and second to right field. So a 2-out single, and here is Sean Rodriguez. Today's game presented by your local tri-state area Audi dealers and the new 2012 Audi A6. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. So a 2-out single by Jose Lobaton, and he's at first. Sean Rodriguez has struck out, and he's singled in the only run, a clean line drive single just over the leap of Teixeira back in the 4th inning. And the pitch is outside. Zobrist had walked to begin the inning and stole second. And then with 2 outs, Rodriguez rifled the single to right, and that's the only run of the game. Epley's thrown 26 pitches, probably his last inning. The 1-0 caught on him. And the count 1-1. Logan continues to work. The next hitter is a switch hitter, Elliott Johnson. Pitch caught on him, missed. And Johnson is by far a better left-hand hitter than right-hand hitter. So probably this is Epley's last man. If he gets him, the inning's over. If he doesn't get him, I would think Logan would come in to turn Elliott Johnson around. One more run, boy, would be tough, the way Price is pitching. Epley out ahead of Sean Rodriguez, 1-2. Pitch is low, and the count 2-2.
Follow the Yankees with the MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows mobile device. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details.
Now, Epley is set. Lobaton off first. Pitch struck him out swinging. Well, Epley is a tough pitcher. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of 6, 1-0 Tampa on the Yanks radio network driven by Jeep. Well, now we go to the 7th. Tampa has the only run. That came in the 4th. Tampa 1 run, 3 hits, and the Yanks no runs, 2 hits. Now here's David Price. Now Price is at 93 pitches. He's been as good as you can be. 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, pretty good ratio, and just 2 hits. It'll be the middle of the order to Teixeira, A-Rod, Cano. And the pitch to Tex is high, 1-0.
And I guess they're hoping that maybe he gets to the 7th and that's it. You get 2 shots at it in the 8th and the 9th with the bullpen.
Well, I think the Yankees would love to see Price out of the game. The pitch is cut on and missed. And, you know, it's not demeaning Fernando Rodney and company, but
no,
he has been just overpowering. It'll be a 1-1 to Teixeira. The pitch outside. 2-1. The Yankee hits a single by Cano in the 5th and a single by Jeter last inning. Now the 2-1. Swung on and hit in the air to deep left center field. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Mark Teixeira hits a 2-1 pitch in the left center field seats. He sends a text message to left. Oh, Mark, you're on the mark, Teixeira. And the Yankees have tied the game at 1. Teixeira has just entered home plate safely. Your family can be safe and secure with financial protection from New York Life Insurance Company. They've helped keep families safe and secure since 1845. Visit them at NewYorkLife.com.
Fastball on the outside part of the plate. It was up. It was around knee high. Doesn't matter how far it goes as long as it gets over. It landed in the first row. The first row right behind the fence.
Well, you're right about that.
Doesn't matter. First row, 20th row.
They call that a wall scraper.
And there's still five.
Pitch to A-Rod is fouled off.
Isn't it amazing what grown men will do to get a baseball?
Yes. Yes. And sometimes a little sad if someone gets hurt when it goes on. Oh, Teixeira hits his 14th home run, his 46th RBI, and the Yankees have tied the game at 1. And A-Rod takes low inside.
That's the amazing thing, John, about being a pitcher. He's been so brilliant. Great pitch, just a little bit up. If it's down at the knees or right around the knees, it's probably a swing and a miss or a called strike. But it was up, not by much. Doesn't take much.
There's the 1-1. Swung on and line toward the gap in left center. There is a base hit. It's going to be cut off by Upton. A-Rod's going to try it. Here comes the throw off line. He's safe. Oh, A-Rod, who's a very, very good base runner, didn't hesitate. He gambled, and the throw was wide, and he was safe. And now the Yankees, I don't know how they're going to do it. They have to score this run. They have a runner at second and no one out. And here's Robbie Cano.
And today's Speed Report brought to you by AT&T 4G LTE with speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G. AT&T Rethink Possible. Alex Rodriguez gets this speed prize tonight. He was going full force out of the box, and he didn't stop. He went all the way to second. He knew he was going to try and get to second.
Well, here is Cano, and what you'd like him to do if he doesn't get a base hit, of course, is to pull the ball, get A-Rod to third, then Swisher would have a chance to drive him in. You know, the old ABC ball. Now we're tied at 1, and the Yankees have Rodriguez at second, no one out. And Price deals, swung on and looped to shallow right center field. It is going to be caught beautifully by Rodriguez, and there's one away. He just didn't have it enough. Just didn't have enough muscle on it to get it over the head. Rodriguez went way out, but caught the looping fly ball. So there's one away.
And tremendous play by Rodriguez. I thought this was going to go over his head, but you know, look at the replay. Rodriguez thought he had it all the way, which he did.
So here's Swisher. So now it takes the base hit from either Swisher or Jones to drive an A-Rod. You know, he got the ball all the way in. You're talking about inches, and it would be inches the other way. If it was just an inch or two more over the plate, he would have probably hit that to right center for a hit. He got jammed, really jammed, and he just didn't have enough to get it over the head of Rodriguez. Sean Rodriguez. Alex is off second with one out, and the pitch is a strike, and the count 0-1. Swisher has grounded out and struck out. Logan is in the Yankee bullpen. He'll be coming on in the bottom of the inning. Now the Yankees tied on Teixeira's homer. A-Rod off second with his double. And Price deals up high fastball. And the count 1-1. No one's throwing in the Tampa Bay bullpen. Price at 103 pitches. Now the lefty will deal 1-1. Breaking ball low. And the count 2-1. Swisher really recognized that breaking ball because he stopped as he started to move his hands, and the ball was out of the strike zone. So the count 2-1. Here's the 2-1. And it's low 3-1. Yanks have another right-hand hitter on deck in Andrew Jones. Swisher, of course, on his own. The Yankees hope he gets a pitch he can hit. And they hope he gets a base hit to drive an A-Rod. So he'll be swinging if he likes it. Left-hander is set to go. And the 3-1. Up high, ball 4. Swisher is on. 2 on and 1 out. And now here is Andrew Jones. And here comes Jim Hickey on the run.
And nobody up in the pen at all for the Rays. I don't see anybody moving at all. Jim Hickey, only a few words with him. Jose Lobaton isn't speaking, but he's got his glove over his mouth.
Just in case he does. Well, A-Rod at second, Swisher at first. A-Rod has come over, and he and Swish talking to Mick Callagher. Well, here it is, the rally moment of the game, sponsored by Rally BMW, located at 1 Brush Hollow Road in Westbury, or online at rallybmw.com. BMW makes the cars, and Rally makes the difference.
Number 22, Andrew Jones.
Well, the Yanks have 2 cracks at a base hit that would give them the lead. They have Andrew Jones and Russell Martin, 2 righties against the lefty Price. A-Rod off second, Swisher off first. And the left-hander deals. There's a strike. Now someone is up in the Tampa bullpen. Logan, who must be more than ready, and is still throwing in the Yankee bullpen. It'll be an 0-1 to Andrew Jones. Breaking ball low on the count 1-1.
So the lefty is J.P. Howell, the righty Burke Badenhop.
Runners lead first and second with 1 out. Pitch. Caught on and missed. And the count 1-2 on Jones. The ball game tied at 1 on the homer by Teixeira. A-Rod then doubled, and after Cano popped out, the Swisher walked. So the Yanks have 2 on and 1 out. A tie game at 1, top of the 7th. Price is ready to go. And the 1-2. A-Rod goes to third. The throw is not in time. Had to be knocked down by Johnson. A terrible throw by Lobaton. Now, A-Rod is sent back to second, and I guess someone called time. I'm guessing. But they're motioning him back to second. And there he goes. And I'd like to find out why. And the only thing I can guess is that Andrew Jones asked for time.
Let's see if we can see that, because the Yankees aren't arguing. So that's what it must be, John. Must be that Andrew Jones had asked for time, because the Yankees, Joe Girardi isn't coming out. Nobody's saying a word.
Boy, talk about tough breaks.
Oh.
You know,
No stolen base.
A-Rod is 6 out of 6 in stolen base. He's a very, very good base runner. He picked the right time, and Lobaton made an awful throw that had to be blocked by Elliott Johnson.
Lobaton also smacked Mike Estabrook in the face with his hand when he came back to throw the ball to third base. He cracked him in the chin.
It'll be a 2-2 to Andrew. And the pitch swung on, a high fly to right. Zobrist underneath it. He makes the catch, no advance. No, the odd thing, if time hadn't been called and A-Rod stole third, that would have brought him in. Hey, baseball's tough, one way or the other. So Jones flies to right. Here's Russell Martin. Now is not a good time for A-Rod to try to steal, because there are 2 outs. You can't score on an out. And he can score from second on a base hit. Russell Martin has struck out and fly to right. Boy, I'd love to know what happened.
Boy, did he get Estabrook in the face. No explanation yet.
Correction, Rodriguez was sent back, umpire interference.
Yes, that's what it is, hit in the face, umpire interference.
No, but that's not from Lobaton. Here is Martin, and he fouls it off. They must have felt that Andrew Jones didn't get out of the way or obscured his view, because if Lobaton was accused of interference, the stolen base would be allowed. So it had to be
umpire interference is what the guy just said.
Yeah, what I meant is so it had to be Jones who interfered with the umpire by obscuring the view. Here goes A-Rod to third. The pitch is taken. The throw to third is not in time. A-Rod steals third. It really doesn't mean much unless it's a wild pitch or pass ball. The pitch was a strike, so the count 0-2.
Because what John means, if he gets a hit, he would have scored it from second base anyway.
Yeah, if Lobaton had interfered with the umpire, or Jones, if Jones had interfered with Lobaton, I guess that's what they're calling, it would have been allowed. But if Jones interfered with them, it wouldn't, and it wasn't. So the Yankees lost a run. That fly ball would have scored him. Here's the 0-2 to Martin. Low inside, and the count 1-2. But you know what, though? Girardi didn't argue.
Right.
And that was a big call. So obviously they felt that Jones had leaned over the plate. I don't know exactly what he did, but I'd have to see that a lot. There'll be a 1-2 to Martin. A-Rod off third. Swisher off first with 2 out, tied at 1, top of the 7th. And the pitch is foul back. On the count 1-2. That was a 97-mile-an-hour heater. You know how much Martin wants to get a hit here. Boy. Logan has finally left the mound in the bullpen. He's been throwing forever. Price will throw his 116th pitch. And the pitch is swung on, hit on the ground towards short. Elliott Johnson throws to first, low, and grabbed by Pena. He scooped it up. Well, the Yankees tied the game on the home run by Teixeira. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left. And now at the end of 6.5, tied at 1 on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
Now pitching for the Yankees, number 4.
Well, the new pitcher as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning here. All tied up at 1. Yankees did score 1 in the top of the 7th, so off this game, in-game box score is sponsored by McGladrey, the official accounting firm of the New York Yankees radio network. McGladrey Assurance Tax Consulting. So the Yankees 1 run on 4 hits, no errors, 4 left on base. For Tampa Bay, 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and they have to 7. The new pitcher is Boone Logan.
You know, they called, this is the craziest rule, but the Yankees didn't argue. It's a dead ball when the umpire interferes with the catcher's attempt to throw. So basically the interference was on Estabrook. The Yankees didn't argue it, though, and boy, was that a big call.
Baseball rule, too, when the umpire hinders a throw, and, well, he was just standing there, but Lobaton hit his mask, the mask went flying off. So it actually hindered Lobaton's effectiveness with throwing that ball. Kyle Farnsworth is up for the race. This is how the rule goes. Occurs when an umpire hinders, impedes, or prevents a catcher's throw attempting to prevent a stolen base. So the fact that Lobaton hit Estabrook in the face and knocked his mask off hindered him from being able to throw the ball to the third baseman.
Well, what a tough call for the Yanks.
Isn't that something?
And then Jones hit the fly ball to right that easily would have scored A-Rod. We're talking about not catching a break. Well, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The 7th inning stretch today was sponsored by the BMW 7 Series. Check one out at your local Tri-State BMW Center or at tristatebmw.com.
You know, John, that grounder by Russell Martin, he's 0 for his last 26.
Whoa. What was he do, huh?
Oh, well.
So we're tied at 1. Epley goes an inning and 2/3, no runs. 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. Here's Elliott Johnson to lead off, and he cuts and misses. Johnson is a switch hitter, but he's hitting basically, I could look it up, but basically he's hitting 340 from the left side and about 180 from the right side, so that's why they wanted to turn him around. The 0-1 is a fastball strike on the outside corner. Now we're tied at 1 as we hit the bottom of the 7th inning. Now Logan deals 0-2, foul back. So the count holds.
You know how you
0-2.
You know how you say you see something that you've never seen before at a ballpark? Have you ever seen that?
No, because basically it was the umpire interfered with the catcher, and it was called a dead ball. Pitch is line. There's a base hit to left field. Now Jones fields and throws in a leadoff single, a hard line drive by Elliott Johnson, and now at the top of the order. And here's Desmond Jennings.
I guess the rule is if the umpire interfered with Lobaton, then Lobaton shouldn't get punished for not being able to throw the ball correctly. I guess.
Well, it was a very tough break for the Yanks because A-Rod had stolen third.
Larry Rothschild on the phone once more. We'll see who gets up.
Jennings, a right-hand hitter. He has flied out twice and sacrificed. So you would think he would sacrifice again. Now the left-hander is set, and he deals, swinging away, and it's a high pop towards second. Cano and Teixeira. It's Cano, still on the infield skin, makes the catch, and there's one away.
And that would be David Robertson getting up. Meanwhile, Kyle Farnsworth still throwing in the Rays pen.
Carlos Pena will be the hitter. A left-hand hitter, so lefty to lefty as Robertson starts to throw. Pena hasn't gotten in the batter's box yet for some reason. Now he digs in. Well, one thing, Susan, it must have been apparent on the field that it was a dead ball because the Yankees never argued. And as such a vital play, you figure they would really argue, but a throw to first.
I'm just wondering who would know that rule. I don't think I've ever seen that. I'm sure Joe Girardi knew because he didn't move. I think Alex asked for an explanation.
Johnson will run. He has stolen 15 out of 19, one today. And Logan again throws over to first base. They're not wasting time, although this is helping Robertson get ready. But they're not wasting time because they want Logan to pitch to Pena. We're tied at 1, bottom of the 7th. Johnson, the runner at first, with 1 out. And Logan deals, swung on and hit in the air to deep right. There, it's gone. That ball is gone. It is a 2-run home run for Carlos Pena. And the Rays take a 3-1 lead right down the line. And right inside the pole.
A 13th homer of the season for Carlos Pena. On the first pitch. Now, I was just watching David Robertson, who just slammed his ball in his glove as he saw that ball go out. He was getting ready to warm up. Let's see where this pitch is. Well, it's right down the middle of the plate and about knee high. Pena didn't even have to think about that one. That's the one thing about Pena. No matter what he does, hitting 190, you make a mistake and it leaves the building.
B.J. Upton is a high pop ball first. Teixeira gives it a look, but it's going to be over the dugout. The only question is, would it be fair or foul? And it got inside the pole down the right field line for Pena. That's his 13th home run. He now has 36 RBIs, and the Rays take a 3-1 lead.
And before that, Pena was 1 for 6 with 3 strikeouts against Logan.
There's the 0-1. Line foul into the Yankee bullpen area down the left field line. And the count 0-2. Now, Logan set to go, the 0-2 to Upton, and he strikes him out swinging. There were 2 away.
Number 36, Brooks Conrad.
Now, 2 away, here's Brooks Conrad, who will turn around to bat from the right side against the lefty Logan. You want to hear an oddity? Johnson doesn't hit from the right side, and he gets the base hit off Logan, and then Pena, the left-hand hitter, hits the 2-run home run. So it's a very tough game to figure. And the Rays just seem to do everything right against the Yanks. The pitch is low inside, and the count 1-0. And the Rays have a 3-1 lead with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. You know, it's worse than I thought. Johnson was hitting .331 as a left-hand hitter, .145 as a right-hand hitter. So the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. The count 1-1. (3-1) Tampa, bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, no one on. And Logan deals. A little low. And the count 2-1. Conrad had stepped down. Now he's back in. It'll be a 2-1. And the left-hander deals foul back. No, 2-2 on Conrad. I gather Farnsworth is coming in. He only one warming up. So you probably will see Chavez hit for Nix to begin the inning. And the Yankees going to need 2 runs. And there's the 2-2. Fouled off.
Farnsworth was on the DL from the beginning of the season, just back last Saturday. This was his first appearance.
Now Logan's set to go. There'll be a 2-2. And the pitch is cut on a missed. So for the Rays, they take the lead. A single by Elliott Johnson, a 2-run home run by Pena. 2 runs on 2 hits. And at the end of 7 innings of play, it's 3-1 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, the ex-Yank Kyle Farnsworth comes in for the Rays in the 8th. Eric Chavez will hit for Nix. Chavez, a lefty hitter, will hit for Nix, the right-hand hitter. Nix batting 9th, so it'll be Chavez, Jeter, Granderson, with Tampa now with a 3-1 lead here in the 8th. Let's take 10 seconds, station ID, on the New York Yankees radio network. John Sterling, Susan Waldman, back at Tropicana, a chamber of horrors for the Yanks. Unless they rally, they will have lost 6 straight this year here. Chavez swings and misses, and I think it's 9 straight, just one of those stats overall. None too good. Be an 0-1 to Chavez. Nix had struck out twice. Give you Price's numbers. He'd be the winning pitcher. And the 0-1 is low. Price goes 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 2 walks. He was the pitcher of record, so those are his runs. So he can win, he can't lose. There's the 1-1 to Chavez. Swung on and foul. Third base out of play. Now the count 1-2.
This is only the second appearance for Kyle Farnsworth. As I said, he pitched on Saturday an inning. It's his second inning of the year. Had an elbow strain. Got it in spring training. Actually had it once last year, too.
It'll be a 1-2 to Chavez. And Farnsworth deals low. Back to the screen. And the count 1-2 on Chavez.
Farnsworth now throwing a fastball and a cut fastball along with the slider. He says the cutters helped him a lot, so he's actually throwing 3 speeds.
And ready to deal 1-2 to Chavez. There's a breaking ball inside, and the count 2-2. They call that a cutter, so it moved very well, slider-like. Not a whole lot of difference.
Just in speed, I guess.
Farnsworth used to throw a heck of a splitter, too. I've seen that. It'll be a 2-2 to Chavez leading off. And the pitch is low. And Chavez walks. Now, I had thought the count was wrong, and I didn't go with my thought because I kept looking at the board, and it was 1-2. So Chavez draws a walk. Very good at bat. Now here is Jeter. Well, you get a base runner. In a 3-1 game, you send the tying run to the plate. Derek is 1-for-3. The big right-hander now deals. Well, there's a strike.
That was up to 93. You can go higher than that. Jake McGee, hard-throwing lefty, up for the Rays. Robertson continues to throw for the Yankees.
Throw to first. Chavez is back. Here is the power report for the night, sponsored by Indian Point Energy Center, the region's most reliable source of electric power. I'll give you some of the Yankee leaders in homers and RBIs. Chavez a very short lead, and Farnsworth throws over again. Grandison, 23 homers and 48 RBIs to lead in both categories. Cano, 20 homers and 48 RBIs, tied in ribbies with Grandison. The 0-1. There is a strike. The count 0-2. Teixeira with his home run, 14 homers, 46 RBIs. A-Rod, 13 homers, 35 RBIs. And Swisher, 12 homers and 46 RBIs. Hitting home runs not the Yankees' problem. They have hit the most in the major leagues. That's the power report for today, sponsored by Indian Point Energy Center. Now Jeter behind on the count, 0-2. And the pitch is strike 3 on the outside corner, 1 away.
Jeter asking home plate umpire where that pitch was, what that was. Well, there was a strike. I think he thought that it was outside. It did come back. Looks like it came back over the plate and did.
That's the 10th strikeout by Tampa pitching. I think I gave you 8 strikeouts for Price. It was 9. Well, anyway, here is Grandison with 1 on and 1 out. Another throw over. And back to Chavez. Chavez not taking much of a lead. Grandison 0 for 2 with a walk. It's 3-1 Tampa. We're in the 8th. 1 on and 1 out. And Farnsworth deals There's a strike. And the count 0-1. The right-hander deals low, and the count 1-1. The outfield is dead straight away for Granderson. You look at the center fielder, B.J. Upton, and he is standing on a line from home plate through the pitcher's mound over second and out to dead center. The 1-1 is a fastball high, and count 2-1. Robertson is in the Yankee bullpen. I gather he would come in the 8th. And I think it doesn't matter if the Yankees have tied it or they're down 3-2 or even ahead. And here's the 2-1. Pitch low on the count 3-1. And the Yankees would love to be ahead when they bring in Robertson. About McGee, he probably would come in when Cano is up, I gather. Now the overshift is on. And they put the third baseman Conrad on the first base side of second. And again, I guess the feeling is that 3-1, Granderson would be swinging hard and wouldn't be cutting down on a swing. It'd be a 3-1. Cuts and misses. The count 3-2. It was a fastball, but in a great spot, low and away. And Granderson missed it, so the count full 3-2.
And John, if that's what they were thinking, they were absolutely right. Big swing. Was going to swing at that. Count was, as we know, 3-1.
Now the right-hander stretches and deals, grounded foul. Chavez is not going, and you can understand why. Even though a ground ball could mean a double play. But if you have a base runner down by 2 and you have a home run hitter up next, like Teixeira, you got to give him that shot. Now, once again, it'll be a 3-2. Granderson at home plate, the tying run. And Farnsworth deals. It's inside. Did he go? No. They check the third base umpire, Sam Holbrook. So the Yankees have the tying runs on, and here is Teixeira.
Well, they say he held up. Didn't look like it went too far. They asked the third base umpire. Farnsworth doesn't agree. So to that end, Carlos Pena comes in, says something to Farnsworth, calm him down.
The runner at second, Chavez. And the runner at first is Granderson. One thing, if Chavez was the tying run, they couldn't pinch run for him. They run out of infielders. The pitch to Teixeira is high. That's one thing with all ball clubs. They have so many pitchers that their benches are really thin. So Chavez will go in and play third. He hit for Knicks. Of course, they could put A-Rod in the field. They'd lose the DH. The 1-0 is low in the count 2-0. Oh, Farnsworth having problems locating the plate. And, you know, the Yankees, here comes Jim Hickey on the run before Teixeira can swing. You know, you'd love Teixeira to hit, if you're a Yankee fan anyway, hit the ball out. But even if he walks, then you're within a single of tying the game. And you have two really good hitters coming up in A-Rod and Cano.
And Hickey doing all the talking. Remember, this is just his second game that he's been in, pitched an inning on Saturday. He's missed the whole season.
Little dilemma for Joe Madden. Obviously, if Farnsworth would walk him, then you have the bases loaded. I don't know if you want to bring in McGee, a lefty, to pitch to A-Rod. Well, we will see. It's only 2-0 on Teixeira. And Farnsworth holds the set and deals. Outside 3-0. He just missed. Oh, you have to have the courage of your convictions. I see Robbie Thompson looking in the dugout. You turn Teixeira loose, 3-0, and hope he gets a cookie. The 3-0 is high, ball four. We'll never know. So the bases are loaded on 3 walks. And the Yankees have 2 cracks at the game-tying hit. They have Alex Rodriguez, and then they have Robbie Cano.
Well, you know what Alex has been mired in of late. Wouldn't this be a great moment for Alex Rodriguez?
It would be. Well, here is A-Rod, who has struck out twice and then doubled to left center and still stole third, only to have it negated by basically umpire interference. Bases loaded, 1 out. And the pitch is outside 1-0. I'll tell you one thing, Susan. The Yankees, and this is now A-Rod, shouldn't help Farnsworth out because he is missing the plate on every pitch, or almost every pitch. Bases loaded on 3 walks. That'll be a 1-0 to Alex. And that pitch is a strike on the outside corner. One favorable thing for the Yankees, the tying run is by far the fastest runner out there in Grandison. Chavez at third, Grandison at second, and Teixeira at first. That'll be a 1-1 from Farnsworth. And the right and now time is called for a moment. Outfield straight away for A-Rod. In the infield, Sean Rodriguez pulled over near second. And the 1-1 is low outside through a breaking ball. Now on the count 2-1.
Is that amazing?
Well, they call it his cutter. It looks like a slider to me. It moved a lot. In fact, it moved a lot because it moved outside. Lefty Jake McGee is in the bullpen getting ready for Cano on deck.
Yeah, you'd think in any case this is his last batter, no matter what happens.
And the 2-1. Cut on a miss. He swung at ball 3. It was a fastball up and in, but it was high. Anyway, the count 2-2.
See, that's what John means about not helping him out. He's not throwing strikes. So unless he totally misjudged that ball was at his shoulders.
Yeah, that really was ball 3. And imagine 3-1. Oh. What a pitch you'd see. Well, Lobaton went out to chat with Farnsworth. He comes back. It'll be a 2-2 to Alex. Now the tension and the drama build. The 2-2 is low. Almost got away from Lobaton, but he blocked it onto the legs of A-Rod. So the count 3-2.
Well, it's kind of a nice block by Lobaton, who's not really known for his defensive prowess. Supposedly a hitter, though no one on this team is really hitting.
Ball 4 would mean 3-2 and the bases loaded with 1 out and Cano up. And you know what? I think the Yankees would be very happy to get ball 4.
I think that too.
Now bases loaded, 1 out, top of the 8th, 3-1 Tampa. Chavez at third, Grandison at second, Teixeira at first, A-Rod at the plate, Farnsworth on the mound, and the 3-2 is outside ball 4. Well, the Yankees haven't exactly knocked down the walls, but they're down 3-2 with the bases loaded, 1 out on 4 walks. Chavez scores. Give A-Rod an RBI on the bases loaded walk. Here's Joe Madden to go to the bullpen.
And this call to the bullpen is sponsored. That pitching change was brought to you by the New York State's Pudding today. Well, the new pitcher is hard-throwing lefty Jake McGee. And Jake McGee, before Farnsworth is in the dugout, sort of smacked the towel before he sat down. Jake McGee, at his numbers, 29 appearances, 26 1/3 innings, 22 hits, 13 earned runs, 4 home runs, 10 walks, and 21 strikeouts. He has a habit of being a little wild, throws very hard, doesn't always know where the ball is going.
And he faces the left-hand hitting Robbie Cano. It's a 3-2 ball game. Farnsworth struck out 1 batter and walked 4. Now A-Rod gets his 36th RBI. And I did look, I don't really like the matchup sheets unless it's unusual one way or the other. But Cano's 1 for 5. Of course, the Yankees, and they'd be happy enough with a fly ball to tie the game. Now here is Cano with the bases loaded, 1 out. Tampa with a 3-2 lead. And the very speedy Grandison is the tying run at third. Teixeira at second and A-Rod at first. Now here's Jake McGee with the bases loaded and one man out, top of the eighth. And the left-hander deals. There's a strike on the inside corner. He does throw hard. That was 96 on the board.
Line 7 walks, 31 strikeouts. Reading somebody else's line. So McGee has cut down on those walks. That was his problem last year. Try to harness that fastball.
The 1-1 low, and the count 1-1.
That was 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Robbie on an 11-game hitting streak, batting .442, 19 for 43.
And 1 for 3 today. And he had a hit off Price, a left-hander who throws harder and is better than McGee. It depends what kind of pitch you make. Infield back, looking for two. The pitch is cut out and missed. And the count 1-2.
Boy, that was a slider. That was a beautiful pitch. Up and away. I think Robbie thought he had a track on it, and it just vanished.
Bases loaded, one man out, top of the eighth, 3-2 Tampa. Yanks have them loaded up. And the lefty McGee ready to deal 1-2 to Cano. Swung on and sprayed foul down the left field line. And the count holds at 1-2. It is important to show the slider that McGee did, because at least it puts that thought into the batter's mind. For example, Cano's behind 1-2. Does he throw the high octane fastball, or does he throw the slider down and away? That's where he'd want it. Bases loaded as McGee started to get ready. Cano stepped out. Now the left-hander is set. And the 1-2 slider outside, the count 2-2. Well, that's where he wanted it, but a little too far outside. But here is the pitch that McGee wants it to happen on. He didn't want to go 3-2. Almost certainly a fastball count. So this is the big pitch. McGee with a count of 2-2. Yankees have them loaded up with one out, down by a run in the eighth. The pitch is swung on and line. There's a base hit, center field. Scoring is A-Rod. Here comes Teixeira. The throw is offline. He scores. It is a one-out, two-run, bases loaded base hit by Robbie Cano. And the Yankees now take a 4-3 lead.
And the hottest hitter in the club, we gave you his numbers, and that was just a tremendous hit. Didn't try and do too much. That ball coming in very, very hard. Didn't try and do too much, but he's so strong, just lined it into center field. That was a great at-bat.
Oh, it really was. He got a low fastball on the inside part of the plate, and he really ripped it to center field. The throw was offline. The Yankees take a one-run lead. Cano now has 50 RBIs, so he leads the team in RBIs. So he changes the old power report. The Yankees have scored 3 in the inning on 4 walks and 1 single. And here it's Swisher. A-Rod stopped at second. Cano at first with 1 out, and the pitch is outside in the count 1-0. And it's McGee's inning. There's no one in the bullpen.
You know what's really strange about that is that he threw him that fastball, and the low fastball that you described that Robbie clocked. He had been getting him with the slider. I guess he thought that he was having trouble getting it over the plate because those strikes were on sliders to Robbie that he missed.
And there's the 1-0 to Swisher. Count on a miss on the slider, and the count 1-1. What an unusual rally. How do you predict this? 4 walks, and then the 2-run base hit by Cano, so 3 runs are in. Of course, the Yankees have to get 6 more outs. They'll have Robertson in the 8th and Soriano in the 9th. There's the 1-1. Cut on and missed. And the count 1-2.
So it's all set up perfectly, is what you're saying. Robertson in the 8th, Soriano in the 9th. To see how it works out?
If they get 6 outs, yes. Where's Mo?
And just let me say right now, it wouldn't hurt anybody to get another run here, just in case. Wouldn't bother me a bit.
Swisher 0 for 2 with a walk. A-Rod off second, and Cano with this big hit off first. And the 1-2, a high pop foul, going to make the seats first base side over the Tampa dugout. Well, the Yankees, we certainly knocked them enough for not getting the hit when they needed. They got a great break by Farnsworth walking 4 people, and then they got the big hit. Now the lefty will deal 1-2. It's low inside, and the count 2-2.
97 low and inside. He does throw hard.
McGee peering in for the sign. Now is ready to go. Runners lead first and second, 1 out. And the pitch is low, 3-2. I imagine that Joe Madden and Jim Hickey are going quietly nuts in the dugout. Mm-hmm. Only 1 hit in the inning, a 2-run hit by Cano. Hard hit. And that's the only hit. So it'll be a 3-2. Let's see if the runners go 3-2. Swisher, a right-hand hitter, partially obscuring the catcher. A-Rod has stolen third twice, only one of them counted. McGee is set to go. And the payoff. And the pitch cut on a miss. They were not going. Good thing, huh? So Swisher strikes out. They're a 2-way.
96-mile-an-hour low fastball. And that was a ball. That was not a strike that he swung at.
Tampa pitches. Excuse me, Sue. Go ahead, Sue.
Way below the knees. That was and Swisher knew it.
There's Andrew Jones. So Joe Madden knows if he would bring in a righty, and that righty's not ready, but if he brought in a righty, they would see Ibanez. So he favors this. 2 on, 2 out, and Jones takes a breaking ball strike. The Yankees have struck out 11 times today, and the Yankee pitchers have struck out 13. Now, we've had a lot of strikeouts. One thing that shouldn't be forgotten, David Phelps pitched brilliantly for the Yanks. Went 4 1/3, I believe. The 0-1, swung on, pop foul, first base side out of play. And that really helped the Yanks in this game. He kind of matched serves with Price.
That really helps for down the road, too. You don't know what's going to happen here. I would imagine if CeCe's all right, maybe Phelps goes to the bullpen. Freddie stays in the spot as long as he pitches well. But this has got to be a big boost for now and down the road with Phelps. Pitched very well.
It'll be an 0-2 to Jones. Foul back. The count holds. There's a great story, Susan, I thought of today about the Chamber of Horrors. It was a Chamber of Horrors for the Yanks. Freddie Hutchinson, manager of the Reds, and they played the Mets when the Mets were really hapless at the Polo Grounds, and the Reds are fighting for the pennant. They lost both games. And Hutchinson called it a Chamber of Horrors. Polo Grounds. It'll be an 0-2 to Jones. The pitch is low. And in the Polo Grounds, you had to walk about 5,000 feet to get to the clubhouses in dead center. And Hutchinson said, tell everyone to get out of the clubhouse really quickly. And boy, did they. He just stayed in the dugout till he felt they were gone. So it drives you crazy. This game drives you crazy. Now 1-2 to Jones. A-Rod off second. Cano first with 2 out. And the 1-2. Swung on, hit on the ground, too short. Grabbed and booted. Now everyone's safe. Johnson grabbed it as he was going to the glove side, dropped it, picked it up, and dropped it again. He wanted to get out of his glove and backflip to second. Couldn't do it. So the bases are loaded with 2 out. And here is Russell Martin. That has to be an error, right?
No, they gave him a hit.
Oh, okay. It was a ground ball toward the middle. I didn't think it was going to get through, and Johnson did get to it. So give Jones a single. Thank you, Susan. Bases loaded, 2 out. Here is Russell Martin. Now Dwayne Wise is going to play left field anyway. Goes in to run for Andrew at first.
Yeah, I think the scoring was in the first place. Cano was already at second base, so he was not going to get him at second. And Andrew's very fast. So I think that they thought he wasn't going to get him anyway, even if he made that play. He did bobble it, but even if he had fielded cleanly, he wasn't going to get Jones.
Now here's Russell Martin. The Yankees have batted around in a strange inning. They've scored 3. There are 3 on and 2 out, so those are the first 8 batters. And here's Russell Martin, and boy, does he need a hit. Whoa, does he need a hit. Bases loaded, 2 out. And the pitch is a strike.
Oh, for his last 26.
Well, that is some slump. 0 for 26. You know, and he's a good hitter. You know, you figured you'd miss hit a ball and kind of top it down the third for a hit or something. But so this would be a great time to get a hit with the bases loaded, 2 out. That'll be an 0-1. Cut on a miss. Do it by him upstairs in the count 0-2. A-Rod at third, Cano at second, and now Dwayne Wise at first. With 2 outs in the 8th, the Yanks have a 4-3 lead. Now, McGee all set to go. And the 0-2 swung on and foul, first base out of play. The guy who started this as a pinch hitter, Eric Chavez, is on deck. 4 walks by Farnsworth, a 2-run single by Cano. And now the infield single by Jones loaded him up with 2 outs. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and hit in the air to right. Zobrist going back on the edge of the track, makes the catch to end the inning. For the Yankees, 3 runs on 2 hits and 3 left. Now at the end of 7.5, it's 4-3 Yanks on the New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, the new pitcher for the Yankees is David Robertson, and a couple of changes in the field. Dwayne Wise will go in and play left field for Andrew Jones. He pinch ran for Jones, and Eric Chavez stays in the game and plays third base. J.C. Howell is now warming up in the Rays bullpen, and I do believe I said David Robertson is on the mound.
Boone Logan goes an inning, 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Farnsworth goes a third of an inning, 3 runs, no hits, 1 strikeout, 4 walks. Well, in this odd scoring that baseball does have, if this was the final score, Logan would be the winner and Farnsworth would be the loser. And David Price pitched great. And so did Phelps. You tuned in late. Phelps went 4 1/3, 1 run, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 2 hit batters. Anyway, the Yanks have a 4-3 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. There are 3 pretty good lefty hitters against Robertson. First Zobrist, then Scott, and then Lobaton. Zobrist and Lobaton are switch hitters. And the pitch to Zobrist, a little ground ball to second. Cano fields and throws 1 pitch, 1 out. The Yankees have the best defensive outfield with Wise in left now, Grandison and Swisher. Chavez, Jeter, Cano, Teixeira. You know one thing that they have in common?
What?
They're all Gold Glove winners. Now one away, and here is Luke Scott, a left-hand hitter. And Robertson now deals. Fastball's inside. He had to shrug away. 10-second station ID on the New York Yankees radio network. And there's the 1-0. Foul tipped at home plate. John Sterling, Susan Waldman at Tropicana in St. Pete. Yankees, with 3 in the top of the inning, have a 4-3 lead.
After Robertson's last outing, Joe Girardi telling me that, he feels fine. He doesn't think he's all the way back. He's been a little inconsistent. Almost been every other outing that's been good, so he's due for a good one today.
The 1-1 to Scott. A high pop foul. First base out of home plate, out of play. On the count 1-2. This batter, I know he's in a terrible slump. He's in as bad a slump as Russell Martin, but this is the guy who could tie the game. He really is a home run hitter, Luke Scott.
And now up to 0 for 35.
And Martin's over 27. He's much worse.
You wonder how this could happen. He's such a good hitter, Luke Scott.
The guy next Lobaton is not a home run hitter. The 0-2 breaking ball, strike 3. He backdoored the breaking ball, and Scott just absolutely couldn't pull the trigger. He didn't think it was a strike either. It looked like it, though. A backdoor breaking ball, 2-way.
Well, he said something to Mike Estabrook. Let's take a look at this pitch now. Well, he might have a point. He thought it was outside. And it probably was. But when you're going badly, you don't get those. For some reason, you just think you don't.
Well, 2-way. That is the 14th strikeout by Yankee pitching. And here is Jose Lobaton, a left-hand hitter. And the pitch missed outside, 1-0. Now Robertson ready for the 3-1 to Lobaton. And the pitch is outside, ball 4. So Lobaton walks. There's the tying run. And here's the go-ahead run, Sean Rodriguez, who homered last night.
And usually when Robertson is Robertson, you don't worry about him walking guys because he's such a good strikeout. Will Rhymes is running for Lobaton. Try and get some speed on here. There are 2 outs, however.
Your attention, please. He's running for Lobaton. Number 10, Will Rhymes.
Now Rhymes at first with 2 outs. And here's the right-hand hitting Sean Rodriguez. 1 for 3, and that was a ribby single for the game's first run. The pitch is a half swing and a breaking ball, and the count 0-1.
When Robertson is at his best, it doesn't matter who's on base. He does walk people, but he can also strike them out. Seemingly at will, which is why Girardi never cared if he brought him in with runners on base, whatever it was. Because he was a strikeout pitcher. Hasn't been quite there yet since he's come back from the oblique.
He'll deal 0-1 to Rodriguez. Rhymes off first pitch. Caught on and missed. And the count 0-2. Another breaking ball. Chavez playing on top of the third base line. Take away the double. And Granderson is well over in left center field. They're really playing Sean Rodriguez to pull. And it'll be an 0-2. Rhymes leads off first. And Robertson holds the set and deals. Struck him out swinging. 3 straight breaking balls. I guess that's the book, huh?
That's the book.
I guess. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left on. Now at the end of 8, 4-3 Yanks. On the New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, in for the Rays behind the plate is our friend Jose Molina. As we go to the top of the ninth.
Jake McGee went 2/3. No runs, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, no walks. He gave up the big hit to Cano. Now the Yanks have a 4-3 lead as we hit the 9th. Eric Chavez began that rally with a walk-off. Farnsworth went into play third. He's leading off. It'll be Chavez, Jeter, Granderson against the lefty J.P. Howell. And Rafael Soriano has begun warming in the bullpen. Now the left-hander Howell deals foul back by Chavez, the count 0-1.
Howell, before he had his surgery, his arm surgery, had what they used to call a mystery fastball. He threw nothing but fastballs and just spotted them everywhere, and there was a whole year there where no Yankee ever touched him.
And also the fastball probably was 88, 89,
right.
90, like that. The 0-1 is low on the count 1-1. That fastball, for example, was on the board at 87.
You know what he had back then? He had impeccable command.
Here's the 1-1. Ground ball to third. And Conrad fields and throws out. Chavez went away. In the 9th inning for the Rays, they have Elliott Johnson, a left-hand hitter. Desmond Jennings, a right-hand hitter. And then Pena. Pena's hit a 2-run home run today to give the Rays then a 3-1 lead. Well, one away. Here is Derek Jeter. Conrad comes in at third, or even with a bag at third, and Jeter takes a strike.
The off day is a whole lot sweeter if they can pull off this win. Get this monkey off their back, this 9-game losing streak here in Tropicana.
Well, you know one thing, they're 3 outs away.
They are.
They can't be any less than a 1-run lead. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and line toward the alley in right center. There is a base hit. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Jeter heads towards second, and he will hold there as the relay throw comes in from Zobrist. So Jeter, a 1-out double. His second hit of the game, and here's Curtis Granderson. You know, Susan talked about the off day, and it'll be so much sweeter, the plane ride and the off day, with a victory. And then the Yankees back in action against Boston for 4 games, Friday night, Saturday at noon, Saturday at 7, making up for a rainout, and then Sunday at 8, an ESPN game. So our next game is Friday, and we'll be on the air at 6:30 with a pregame and 7:05 play-by-play. Sponsored by London Jewelers on Long Island, serving you and your family since 1926. Now here's Granderson. And the pitch is low inside. Overshift on 3 infielders on the right side. And Conrad plays simply wide of third. He plays in just in case Granderson bunts. Although if Granderson actually bunted, and it was a good bunt, there's no way Conrad would throw him out. He's behind the bag at third. Granderson's pretty quick. That'll be a 1-0. I don't think he's bunting, but the pitch is a strike, and the count 1-1. Granderson 0 for 2, but 2 walks. One of the many who walked last inning, setting up the 3 runs.
Granderson, Teixeira, and A-Rod walked consecutively. That set up Cano's 2-run hit.
Granderson takes a strike on the inside corner. And the count 1-2. Right-handed Burke Badenhop is up in the Tampa bullpen, probably for A-Rod. Teixeira is a switch hitter next. And, of course, Soriano ready to pitch the bottom of the ninth. Now the 1-2, and first Howell bluffs towards second, and Molina trots out to talk to him.
This is really a tale of two games, John. The beginning of the game, Price and Phelps actually matching David Price, pitch by pitch.
Yeah, it was really a great effort. And, you know, you looked at the pitching matchup, Price against David Phelps, and not a great matchup for the Yanks, and here they are in the ninth with a 4-3 lead.
Well, Oakland has defeated the Red Sox once again, 3-2 the final there. Baltimore is leading Seattle 4-1 there in the ninth. So the Yankees have to hold on here to keep pace with Baltimore, not let Baltimore gain any more ground.
That'll be a 1-2 to Granderson. He struck him out swinging 2-way.
Big curveball, 79 miles an hour, terrific pitch by Howell.
If the Yankees do win, and Baltimore wins, they stay 5 up on Baltimore. But Tampa would then be 7 back on the loss side. Boston would be 8 back on the loss side. So you can see how big a game this is for the Yanks. Here is Teixeira with Jeter at second and 2 out. And the left-hander Howell deals outside. It'll be a 3-2 to Teixeira. Jeter leads off second with 2 out in the ninth. And Howell deals low, ball 4, another walk. So Teixeira is on. And I would expect to see Joe Madden any moment. And there he is.
And here he comes. And this call to the bullpen is sponsored by 8-7 Games today. Well, the new pitcher for the Rays is the righty, tall, slim righty Burke Badenhop.
You know, Susan, a thought just occurred to me. You said that the Oakland-Boston game is over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're on the West Coast, so even if they started at 1, that would be 4 o'clock back here.
Right.
So would have started an hour later than us, and they're over.
They're over. And you think they'll beat us back to Boston?
No, I don't think so. Great confidence in our playing.
That this game will be over at some point? It's almost 4 hours old.
Well, it'll be over unless Tampa ties the
Right.
game. Here's A-Rod with Jeter at second and Teixeira at first with 2 men out. Yanks have a 4-3 lead. I guess there have been a lot of pitches thrown in the game because there have been so many walks and so many strikeouts. Now here's A-Rod, who has doubled in 3 trips and walked. And he hits a ground ball right up the middle. Backhanded by Rodriguez. Throws to first wide. A-Rod is safe, and it'd be an infield hit. Rodriguez made a nice play. The ball goes through. It's a run. And A-Rod would have beaten the play anyway. Throw was offline. So bases loaded, 2 out. And here is Robbie Cano.
Well, and there just wasn't, because Rodriguez had to go and get that. There was nobody, because he would have gotten to Sheriff. There was a fielder at second base to throw to. There was nobody there.
Well, that's the overshift for you. And they overshifted on the left side. And so Rodriguez was the nearest player to the ball and back at second. Here's Cano, who is 2 for 4, including a 2-run base hit. The big hit in the game. A 2-run base hit last inning to bring the Yankees from 3-2 down to 4-3 ahead. Bases loaded, 2 out. And the pitch is lined at deep center field. Upton back, away back, on the track, makes the catch. 1 step from the wall. Well, Cano hit another rocket. And it was run down by Upton. That would have given the Yankees 3 more runs. In the inning, no runs. 2 hits. And 3 left. And now at the end of 8.5 innings of play, it's 4-3 Yanks on the New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, the Yankees almost had this one salted away. Bases loaded, 2 out. Everybody's running, and Cano really hit one. A high line drive to deep center. Upton, who's a great defensive center fielder, raced back and made a one-hand catch, and he had maybe one more step to go. So it is anything but a safe lead. It's 4-3 Yankees, bottom of the ninth. Elliott Johnson will lead off. He's 2 for 3. Rafael Soriano comes on. Robertson went an inning. No runs, no hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. And now it is Sori in the bottom of the ninth. And the pitch is grounded to third. Chavez fields and throws to first in time. And there's 1 away. 1 pitch, 1 out. Looming, though, on the horizon after Jennings hits is Carlos Pena. No, I would say it behooves Soriano to go get Desmond Jennings. He's a right-hand hitter, and he's 0-for-3 with a sacrifice. The Yankees with a 4-3 lead. It'd be one of their sweetest wins of the year if they can get it. Now, Soriano will deal to the right-hand hitting Desmond Jennings, and the pitch is a strike at the knees. Chavez at third, Jeter at short, Cano at second, Teixeira at first, Wise in left, Grandison in center, Swisher in right, Russell Martin catches Soriano. And the 0-1. There's a strike in the count 0-2. Carlos Pena, who hit a 2-run home run today, is on deck. Now Soriano 2. The wind and the 0-2 is low. Got to count 1-2. Soriano ahead on the count 1-2 to the right-hand hitting Desmond Jennings. 1 out, no one on. Bottom of the ninth, the Yanks with a 4-3 lead. And the pitch is low outside. And the count 2-2. Chavez is playing one step from the line to try to take away the double over the bag. Grandison is, 5-6 steps over in left center field. Swishes straightaway right. That'll be a 2-2 to Jennings. And the right-hander deals. Struck him out swinging, slider down and away. So there's 2 of them, and there's 1 more to get, and that's the home run hitter, Carlos Pena. And that is the 16th strikeout by Yankee pitching. Phelps had 8. Epley had 3. Logan 2. Robertson 2. Now Soriano has 1. Pena has walked, been hit by a pitch, walked, and hit a 2-run home run. So the Yankees have not been able to retire him yet. Two down. And here's Pena. Yankees put 3 infielders on the right side. Chavez stays home at third. Jeter's on the first base side of second. Cano in shallow right field. And Soriano's first pitch is a slider low in the count 1-0. 1 more man to get, but if you make the mistake, he can hit it out. Boy, did the Yankees want this game. Boy. Pena, who had stepped out, now back in. It'll be a 1-0 from Soriano, and the pitch, another breaking ball low in the count 2-0. You wonder if you're going to walk him. The guy on deck is not as great a home run hitter, but he's got very good power. B.J. Upton, he's a right-hand hitter. Upton has struck out 3 times and walked once. Well, here is obviously a damaged pitch, but Soriano knows what he's doing, so I doubt he's going to throw the ball over the middle if he can help it. It'll be a 2-0 to Pena, and the pitch swings and misses And the count 2-1. Threw another slider, and he got the ball down. Well, the count 2-1. I would say that Pena qualifies as a fastball hitter. Granderson plays in right center and way back, and Swisher might be 2 or 3 steps from the warning track in right. Of course, they're playing no doubles defense. It'll be a 2-1 to Pena, and Soriano Deal swung on and popped him up in the middle of the infield. Teixeira behind the mound. Teixeira makes the catch. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win. Well, the Yankees lost 2 games they should have won, and this game they didn't figure to win, and they did. It tells you about predicting baseball, which is impossible. So the Yankees win it by the score of 4-3. In the 9th inning, Soriano gets him 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to look it up. I think Soriano is 19 out of 20 in saves. He's really done a fabulous job. We're going to hold it here until Susan gets her star. Well, the Yankees win it 4-3. And when we have a moment, we'll give you their lead in the loss columns, a very healthy lead. But, of course, you can't win the pennant in July. There's a long way to go. So Susan gets her guy. Let's go down on the field to Susan Waldman.
Okay, John. We'll throw it back up to you. I'll be out in a little while.
Thank you, Susan. Well, the Yankees hit 1 home run, and that was the fellow who hit it, Mark Teixeira. It brings their season total to 125. Excuse me. That's a 6, isn't it? It brings their season total to 126, and for every home run the Yankees hit this year, your local Hyundai dealers donate $100 to the Hope and Heroes Foundation. The season total stands at $12,600. Wow, what a game, huh? Whoa, what a game. And the Yankees wind up winning it by the score of 4-3. A Teixeira home run in the 7th, 4 walks in the 8th, and then a 2-run single by Cano for the 3 runs, and the Yankees win it 4-3. We're back with the totals in a moment here on the New York Yankees Radio Network, driven by Jeep. Okay, in this a wild and a crazy game, the Yankees win it 4-3. Here are the totals. For the Yanks, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They left 10. And for Tampa Bay, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and they left 8. Boone Logan wins it. He's 3-0. Rafael Soriano the save. His 19th. He's 19 out of 20 in saves. And Kyle Farnsworth takes a loss. He's 0-1. With a victory, the Yankees finished the first half of the year 49-32. Well, it's somewhere around 100 wins if they do the same thing in the second half. Tampa Bay is 43-39. The attendance 28,033. The time of the game 3 hours and 42 minutes. And the Yankees once again win the ball game by the score of 4-3. New York Yankees baseball is a production of WCBS News Radio 880 and the New York Yankees. Studio operations by Christine Verone. And tape editor Randy Bishop. Technical operations by Dan Ginsberg. Production assistant Rick Roush. Coordinating producer David Mayernick. And the executive producer of Yankees baseball, Tim Shell. Now stay tuned for the Reynolds wrap-up show. We'll have highlights, scoreboard, sounds of the game, and Susan Waldman's clubhouse report. It's all coming up next on the Yankees Radio Network, driven by Jeep.
You've been listening to the 2012 New York Yankees on the Yankees Radio Network. Sponsored by Jeep and the unique brand of freedom you'll only find in the full line of Jeep vehicles. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Prudential, bring your challenges. Foxwoods, anything but ordinary. Your Tri-State Ford dealers. MasterCard's Priceless New York. That's MasterCard. That's priceless. The Daily News. New York's hometown everything. Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Indian Point Energy Center. The region's most reliable source of electric power. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Hyundai. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today and check out the 2012 Sonata. McGladrey. the official accounting firm of the New York Yankees Radio Network. McGladrey, Assurance, Tax, Consultant. Your local tri-state area Audi dealer, who invite you to meet the new 2012 Audi A6.